Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So as you can see by the title, this is going to be a tips to transitioning kind of video. I fully transitioned. I'm fully natural, as you can see by my puff, and I feel like I finally got the knowledge and the experience to tell you guys my transitioning journey and give you some of my tips, not really tips, but like I guess like pointers, to transitioning from relaxed to natural. This is what I did, and I'm not saying this is the only way to transition, and by all means there are a million other ways. I'm just telling you guys what I went through and my tips to have a successful transitioning journey. So I wrote everything down on my phone, so if you see me referring to it, that is totally why. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video. So my very first tip is to do your research before you commit to transitioning. Like, don't just say I'm going to transition, because when you do that, you don't really have like a foundation to help you set your journey. I decided to transition twice. The first time I didn't do any research and I just said I'm going to transition, I'm gonna be natural, I'm gonna have a head full of curly hair. I just jumped right into it without knowing what I was doing. I didn't have any background information on it, nothing like that. So that ended up being a total fail, and I ended up getting a relaxer like 4 months in. But then this time I was like, okay, let me do some research. Let me look at different hair types, even though hair typing is not something that I'm fond of now that I'm fully natural. But when I was transitioning, it was motivation in a way. Like, I was like, oh, if my hair is this hair type, I'll look like this, or I have like this kind of hair to deal with. If my hair is that hair type, this is what some people's done that I can do. This is the hairstyles that I can do. This is how my hair might look like. So that gave me a lot of motivation to keep going. So yes, definitely do your research. I did use Pinterest a lot, and it had all of the beautiful hair types. It had different YouTubers with their hair types and just random people that had really, really nice natural hair, and it was really something to motivate me. Which brings me to my second one: find a hair inspiration person. So find someone that you really, really like and follow their journey, see how they went, and use them as inspiration. No, this does not mean you're going to have their same exact hair type. You can follow their hair regimen to the letter. No, it does not mean that by all means. It just means that they are your inspiration, your Beyonce or Rihanna to natural hair, basically. So after you've done that, then you might consider committing. Now, after you committed, your first step is to just stop using chemicals. Stop with the perm, don't use a creamy crack and all of that stuff, and put the heat down. Like, yes, you can blow dry your hair every now and then, because I definitely did that, but one thing I didn't use throughout my whole transitioning journey, which lasted 16 months, was a flat iron. I didn't flat iron my hair not once, and that's because I'm not fond of flat ironers, honestly. I don't like the idea of burning. That's been my whole thing with flat irons. So I say you can use the blow dryer, but after a while, try finding other ways to let your hair air dry. My next tip would be to learn how to do different hairstyles. Twist out, braid outs, perm rod sets, bantu knots, 3-strand twist, whatever it is that you're comfortable with, that you really like the look, learn how to do it, so that way you're not tempted to always have straight hair. That way you can have an idea of what you would look like with some type of curls in your head. My next tip would be to stick to a routine and hair products that work. Yes, I was subscribed to 2 different hair subscriptions, and after a while I realized that it's not really getting me anywhere. I just have a whole bunch of hair products. So what I decided to do was use those products. Well, first cancel my subscriptions, then use the products that I already have and find which one works for my hair. And at that time I had like a few inches of perm hair and a few inches of relaxed hair, and it was just a whole kumbaya. So definitely find products that work and stick to a hair routine, whether it is to wash your hair once a week, twice a week, deep condition 2 times a week, or every other week, or whatever it is that works for your hair. Stick with that routine. Don't keep switching, because that way you don't have a solid go back to routine, which you really do need so you can manage your hair. Next would be to, when your hair gets out of hand, protective style, whether it's weaves, wigs, sew-ins, singlies, twists, braids, faux locks, crochet, whatever it is. There are so many different protective hairstyle options. Try some. You never know what you'll look like. For me personally, I tried crochet, box braids, sew-ins. I had a wig recently, and I did have my hair in a lot of goddess braids, which just kept me from touching or playing or getting annoyed with my hair, because it was hard to manage because it was 2 different textures. So definitely find protective hairstyles that you like, that you can last for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month maybe. Push it to 2 months, whatever works for you, and however long you can last with one hairstyle, go for it. The next thing I have is to set a goal for how long you want to transition. This just helps you. Like for me, it was the, oh, I'm getting closer to where I want to be kind of thing. So when I set my goal, it was originally 2 months. It was originally 2 years. And no, I did not reach that goal. That's because I was just tired of the 2 different hair textures, and I felt comfortable with the length that my hair is in now. I felt comfortable with it. I was like, okay, I feel like I could do a lot with my hair right now. And I was really tired of the 2 different texture things, like I said earlier. So set a goal. Maybe you won't reach your goal, maybe you'll pass your goal, but whatever it is, setting a goal definitely helps. I left it on my calendar. I would have my current hair month, like, okay, if I was 16 months post, it would say 16 months post on top of it, and under it I would have my hair goal, which was 24 months. And every time I changed my calendar, I would just change the number, and that really did help. And I was like, oh, I'm getting closer, I'm getting closer, oh my gosh, I'm getting closer. It was that kind of thing, and it's really exciting to see you get closer to your goal. Like I said, you might not make it, you might pass your goal, but it's okay as long as you have something there. After your natural hair is flourishing and there's more natural hair than relaxed hair, this is a time where I started treating my hair as if it was all natural. I didn't pay attention to my relaxed ends because I was like, okay, they're going to be gone and I'm going to have one texture, so let me try to get used to the texture now. So I tried different hairstyles. I tried doing more twist outs and braid outs. Although the braid outs did not work for me because my relaxed ends refused to cooperate. So twist outs is really my thing, and then I would put a perm rod at the end of it. At that time, I also started experimenting more with different hair products, because although I did say don't go over with the hair products, but that's when you're like a few months in. But once you reach a year and your natural hair is out of control and it's taking over, at that time, that's when you start realizing what products work for you and what products don't. I had a lot of products that had sulfate in it, and I noticed that it made my hair super dry, and I had to do a super long deep conditioning routine so I can comb my hair out. So at that time, that's when I was starting to look into products that naturals use, and that's when I was introduced to sulfate-free shampoos and stuff like that. So at that time, I was like, okay, maybe I need to clear out the sulfate shampoos that I have and replace them with sulfate-free ones. Even though I did this, I didn't go overboard with the products. I just replaced my shampoos. So that's what I mean by trying new products along the line, because your natural hair will start speaking more than your relaxed ends. At this time is also the best time to start trimming your hair more often. I personally didn't trim my hair until I was 14 months post, maybe. Next thing that I have is to trim your hair. And no, you don't have to trim your hair every 2 months or every 3 months like some people do suggest. That's optional. I personally didn't trim my hair until I was 14 months post relaxer, and that's because I wasn't comfortable with the idea of cutting my hair. But then after a while, you just want to cut. Like, you get scissor happy, and then you decide you want to trim this week or that week, or trim off a few inches. I trimmed off, I believe, 3 inches, and then after that I think I went back and I trimmed another inch. So my hair was mostly my hair was mostly natural, and I just had like maybe 3 inches left of relaxed hair. And then after a while I was just like, what am I doing? So trimming is really important, but it's not something that you have to stick to the letter and do, especially not bi-weekly or bi-monthly or whatever the case is. Do it when you feel comfortable doing it. So now that your hair is flourishing and you just can't take it anymore with these 2 texture hairs, this was the time, and this is the time, that you should start looking into possibly chopping your hair. Like, I started doing research. I was looking at big chops from different people, different hair types, seeing how their experience went. I was paying attention to hairstyles with medium to short natural hair, and I was just like so over it. I was ready to start this new journey, so I started doing research based on that. Like, depending on what stage you're in your transition, pay attention to videos and research that comes after that step. Don't go back, to go forward. Like, for example, if you are 4 months post relaxer, don't look at videos of people who are like a few weeks in. Pay attention to the people that's like a month ahead of you or 2 months ahead of you, so that way you know what to expect down the line. So that's what happened with me when I was itching to big chop. I started looking at big chop videos. I started looking at these videos that were titled short medium hair, or that awkward hair stage. That's the videos I was paying attention to. So then after that, after you've made up your mind and you're like, okay, what to do now, it is to chop or not to chop. So it's not really considered a chop depending on how long you've transitioned. Like, for me, I feel like it was just a haircut and not more of a big chop, because I did have a lot of natural hair already. So at this time, it's just like a matter of when you're gonna do it, honestly. And it might catch you off guard when you do decide to do it. Like, for me, I was going to get my hair braided, and I still had my wig in at that time, and I was gonna go get my hair braided and cornrows so I could put my wig on. And then I looked in the mirror, and I don't know why, but I just got the scissors and I started cutting my hair. And that's how my big chop went, or my cut, or whatever it is that you would call it. This is something that caught me off guard. So just like it caught me off guard, it might catch you off guard. Maybe you'll plan it to the exact day, time, hour, I don't know. But once it's time for you to big chop, you will know, because you'll start getting that itch to big chop. Like, you're gonna get that itch to cut your hair, that itch to be all natural, that itch to stop dealing with 2 textures. That is the time when you're like, okay, I know what I want to do, and you do it. So that's pretty much it. This wasn't really like a traditional tips where I number my 1, 2, 3 tips. I just told you my experience, some pointers, and some tips, I guess. So I don't even know what to title this video as, honestly. But yes, this is how my transitioning went, and hopefully some things that I said did help you, and you have a great transition. So yes, that is pretty much it for this video, and definitely stay tuned. There are more videos to come, so please, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, give me feedback, tell me what you want to see, and I'll definitely do it. So that's it for this video.